Hi there, folks. Today I'm going to show you how to tie probably one of my most productive warm water flies. It's called the Fluff butt. It's basically a Marabou jig. They've been around for many, many years. Some of you may have fished conventional tackle back in the day and using Marabou jigs or tube jigs. They come in various colors, styles, sizes, usually anything from a size 6 to maybe a 12, depending on what kind of species you're targeting. But it has provided me with some of the most fun, enjoyable, relaxing fishing that I've ever done. Because you can sit there and catch 50 bluegill in an hour and just catch and release and have a ball. Here's some of the different variations, okay? If you want something with a lot of flash, probably my go-to color combination. And when you talk about combinations, you want something that has, not one color. You gotta have some contrast. So I've got the black chenille body. That's actually a crystal chenille, and Marabou tail. Another killer combination, which I'm gonna have to tie some more of these because I recently ran out, is the blue and white. In crystal clear water, I'm talking like something you want to drink. I find that this is one of the better colors. It's olive. And this one, you notice, is all olive and olive. Even though it's olive, it's got a lighter color olive for the body with a darker contrasting Marabou tail. Here's another variation on that fly with a lighter color and a darker tail. Okay, 5 minutes at the tops. But here are several options. We're going to start off with the easy version. And these are simply jig hooks, okay, in a size 6 to, I think I've got a 10. I'm finding it more and more difficult to find these. I'm going to show you what a larger one looks like. And this is one with a brass head. It's just your simple Marabou jig hook, okay? Fly purists don't like that, but I've got something for them a little later. They come in variations of colors. You got the brass head there. I don't find that the head color makes a difference. This one is a smaller, so this is a size 8. Okay, so you get the idea with that. So you got a hook. The next thing you've got is some type of chenille and Marabou. And we've all got strong Marabou somewhere if you're a fly tire. I'm going to get a couple out in here that I'm going to be working with later. Chartreuse and white. And some type of chenille. And so I do want to caution you, I have learned to start with the smaller. Start with the smaller chenille. This is an ultra chenille. It's very, very small. And while you think that that's too small, that's killer on the fish. This is actually almost too large, in my opinion. Okay, there's not enough hook gap, if you can see, between the chenille and the hook, and the point of the hook. So the size smalls or the extra smalls you get may sometimes be too small. One of the sad things is that you end up spending a lot of money before you figure this stuff out. Okay, so I'm going to tie one up real quick and go through this, and I'm going to tie one of the blue ones up. I'll start with a size 8 jig hook. Start my thread out. This doesn't really matter. All that's going to get covered up. Almost to right around the bend of the hook. Okay, we're going to make this in blue and white. So, Marabou. For this, that's some old Marabou, so it's shedding. Use the tips of your Marabou, not the fluffy stuff. Use the tips, like that. And that's all you're going to need. The size is usually the length of the hook. And by being consistent, okay? Make it easy to tie in, wet your fingers. Don't put the whole thing in your mouth, but wet your fingers, okay? And that's about the size of the hook, okay? I hope you can see this. Just a couple of good wraps to get it started. I'm using black thread for this. It doesn't really matter. You can have a small tie-in point at the head. Next, and this is totally optional for you, if I'm using crystal chenille, I will not necessarily put flash. But when I'm just using regular chenille, I'll put some flash in like this. So this is very simple. And again, you don't need a lot of this stuff. I usually double it over and trim that. So I've got about two strands on each side. And you don't need a whole lot, one or two. I'm going to cut this in half one more time. Simple way is to just fold it over like this. You got two halves. Work out two on my side, and I'll put two on your side. And tie it back. It really doesn't matter. All right, next, the chenille. I like to measure here so I give it a little bit more body. Especially if I'm using the small stuff, it doesn't matter. And I'll go up to make sure this is completely secure. It's not going anywhere. If you've got a rotary vise, you can go ahead and flip. This is not a rotary vise. And just make good, nice, joining tight wraps. Notice I kept the cord on here. I don't like to waste stuff. And I am completely comfortable with palmering the chenille without cutting it off of the cord. One, two good wraps to secure it and trim. And whip finish, and that is all it takes. The fluff butt. Now I'm going to tie a version that's strictly for the purists out there that will not lower themselves to use these prefabricated jig hooks. You can purchase fly hooks. I've got a size, it says jig size 12. I find that some different companies are not consistent with their measurements. Sometimes you get a one company says a size 10, the other says size 12, and they look exactly the same. So I've got plenty different, but we notice how the hook comes up like that. That's a jig hook, okay? So you got that. Then you need some type of tungsten bead. We live in an age where these tungsten beads have really made a big, they've got a lot more tungsten beads now than they did 10, 15 years ago. And these are really simple, but they're heavier than just a regular brass bead. Very simple. Just make sure you go through the small side of the tungsten bead, through the hook. You may need to crimp the barb to get the hook over. edge. I just was able to get it there, and that's all you need. So this is for the purists out there that will not use the jig hook. You do the same thing. I'm going to get quiet now since you've seen me tie one of these before, and I'm going to do one and do it real time.
Got the change of a nickel, ain't got no bounce in my shoes, ain't got no fancy to tickle, I ain't got nothing but the blues, ain't got no coffee that's perking, ain't got no winnings to lose, I ain't got a dream that's working, I ain't got nothing but the blues. When trumpets flare, I keep my head up, I just can't make it come down. Believe me, papi, I can't get happy since my ever-loving baby left town. I ain't got no rest in my slumber, I ain't got no feelings.
So I don't know if you can see this, but I start about right here, so I don't have to trim anything. There you have it, the fluff butt and a jig hook with a tungsten bead. You'll see at the end of this video I'll post some of the fish that I've caught recently on this one, especially the crappie, the white bass, down here we call them sunlight.
But the blue